Hi, I'm Steve. This is How to in 5 and Reviews, and this is what the Americans made me do. So this video is actually about the Honda Goldwing, and by the way, if you're a new viewer to the channel, welcome. If you're a return viewer, welcome back. If you are a new viewer, you'll know that, or you'll find rather, that my reviews are slightly different to most motorcycle reviews. I like to put the bikes in all sorts of conditions. I like to live with them. I like to, as if you own one, as if you're running through it every day of the week. And when I did a review on this bike, the BMW K1600 GT recently, I made the comment that I like the Goldwing. I've ridden a Goldwing, but I've never owned one. Very short rides, etc. But I did make the comment that the BMW K1600 GT is maybe, if not the best touring bike in the world. I received so much feedback on this from Honda Goldwing owners all over the UK, Europe, and of course the United States, where they tend to be, basically a religion. And one of those emails, which is that's my email address there if ever you want to email me. But one of the emails I received was from Kerry in Texas. And it's short, sharp and shiny and to the point. Steve, love your reviews, but why haven't you reviewed a Goldwing? Heap of question marks. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. G'day, mate. Kerry. I've just crossed out Kerry's last name there. From Texas in the US. And Kerry, for future reference, g'day mate, goes at the beginning. But, you know, this is a big statement. You've tried the rest, now try the best. And I have received a lot of comments and a lot of emails like this. So I thought it was time. I found myself a Goldwing. Now, I'm no expert on the Honda Goldwing. It is a steep learning curve for me, but I'm really enjoying this journey. But they started making the Goldwings back in Japan in about 1974-75. They went through to 79 with this model here. It's the 1000cc. It's a flat 4 or boxer 4, if you want to call it that. It started off as a naked bike, but then when they got to 1980, production moved across to Marysville, Ohio in the US, where it stayed until 2010, and they became an 1100cc, still a boxer, the 4-cylinder. Then in 1983, they moved to the 1200 4-cylinder bike, and you can see they're really starting to dress them up now for that long distance touring. In 1987, they went up to 1500 cc's, and they went to the 6-cylinder motor, and you can see the bike is really, it has turned into the bike that we know today. In 2001, and this ran right through until 2017, stand to be corrected, the GL 1800cc. You can see that is the bike that we all know, and of course this is the current incarnation of the bike. It is beautiful, it is big, it is a very dominant looking bike. But it is also a very expensive bike, and predominantly my reviews are based around used bike reviews, affordable bikes that you can get. So I thought, look, it's time. I bite the bullet, as the expression goes. I need to find a Goldwing. I put my feelers out, and a chap contacted me. Initially, we had a quick phone conversation. He then sent me through some photographs of this bike here. It's an 07, it's a GL 1800, it's the 6-cylinder bike. It is a beautiful, beautiful motorcycle. It's done a few kilometres, 117,000 or 72,800 miles. He then, after a few more discussions, decided to send me through a couple of videos, and that was good. It's a great way to sell a motorbike and to give a potential buyer a look at that bike, what do you want to call it, in the flesh, with the motor running, etc. And he gave me a walk around the bike, and you can see this bike is fitted with the armrests on there. It has the stereo, it has an ABS braking system, which was an option apparently back in 07, which I've recently found out. But it's a one owner from new. It has all of the books and the paperwork. He even gave me a manual to go along with it. And I thought, well, you know, I think, well, what will I do? I'll sleep on it, which I've done here. And then the following morning, picked up the phone, gave him a call and said, yes, I would like to go ahead with this bike, raided the piggy bank, as we have to do when you buy anything, hit the road and headed off quite a distance. Actually, I had to get right through to a place called Tamworth in New South Wales. Tamworth is like the Australian version of, I guess you'd call it, Nashville in the US. Made it up to Tamworth to be presented with this beautiful GL 1800 Goldwing. And look, it was everything that the seller had told me it would be on the telephone and the pictures and the videos. You're always wary, of course. You're on the other side of the country, but no, it's exactly what it said it would be. It's got ABS brakes, CB radio, stereos, cruise controls, heated this, heated that. I was happy with what I saw. As I said, one owner with manuals, etc. I handed over the money. We then did the appropriate paperwork exchange, as you have to do. I had already done the online checks with the VIN number. We shook hands, and that was it. It was time for me to head off on my first, I'll call it, cross-country run on the Honda Goldwing. The scenery was picture perfect. The roads, by Australian standards, well, they were pretty good. But one of the first things I noticed at my first hotel stop overnight is, I did take a cover for the bike, as you can see there, is that I didn't have sore knees, didn't have a sore back, and that's a big difference for me when doing long distance. I even had time to stop in and have a look at a motorcycle museum on the way home. This is a private collection, the BSAs there. I grew up with my father rebuilding BSAs. This is a radical looking Honda CBX6 made into a cafe racer. They even had my old CB 1100 here. It was just a wonderful trip home. I started climbing up into the mountains. I had to stop, of course, for fuel. And fuel, by the way, was $2.30 a litre, or if in the US, it's $8.70 a gallon. But one of the big things I noticed is that each time I got off the bike, firstly, I didn't feel fatigued, which is a good thing, and I had to keep turning around and having a look at this bike. It really is a special looking motorcycle, and I just could not be happier with my purchase at this stage. And of course, on the road again, I even had people waving at me along the way. One more night in a motel room on the way home. I opted for motel rooms on this trip rather than camping. It is winter here in Oz, and look, the motel room just makes life easy. Hot shower, etc. I'm getting old and soft. But one of the things I would like to say is I've been riding motorcycles for a long time. I have done many, many thousands of miles on 2 and 3 wheels. In fact, March 2023, which is next year, I will have been riding for 50 years on all shapes and sizes of bikes. This would have to be one of the most comfortable bikes I've ever ridden, for sure. And one of the misconceptions about Australia is that it's always hot and dry. Not the case. You can see here the roads are wet. As I climb higher and higher into the mountains, it started to get darker and darker. I don't ride in the night anymore, but then the heavens opened and I had a 6-degree maximum this day, or 42 if you're in Fahrenheit temperature. There was rain and hail. I rode through this for hours and hours. There was snow up in the peaks at 70 mile an hour. This bike performed faultlessly, and as far as me as a rider, I was still comfortable and felt quite confident in this weather. The bike made it home in one piece. It performed, as I think I said, faultlessly. The owner assured me when I picked up the bike that it would not use any oil. It never uses oil on a trip or between oil changes. He was 100% right. This is a fantastic machine, and I'm looking forward to bringing my review of the bike, my used bike review, to you as soon as I can get it up and running. I've done part of it, so stay tuned. And Kerry in Texas in the US, thanks for pushing me to get a Goldwing.